We're going to talk a little hockey now. We're going out on the video chat, and we'll be joined by Rich Sutter, Lethbridge, Alberta's Rich Sutter. There he is from Rogers Sportsnet, and of course the Columbus Blue Jackets. Richie, happy July. How are you, my friend?
Great. How are you? You look great, Rod.
Well, thank you. So do you. I feel great. It's a beautiful summer day on the prairies, and we're ready to talk hockey. Richie, did you see the Blues, the Three Blues, your former club, bringing the Stanley Cup in here Saturday night at the Ryder game?
Yeah, I thought it was awesome. Great to see that those guys can get it and bring it home for a while, but it's it's such a quick ride for them while they got it. I mean, some of these guys only get it for 12 to 15 hours, and it's whisked away to another center, to another player, or another employee organization. So great. It's just too bad that there couldn't have been a few more fans to really get to see it, other than that who did.
Yeah, no doubt. But they, as you would know, they made the most of their time. No doubt about that. How about the Blues? Did you get swept up in it like everybody else? You had some great years in St. Louis, so you know what that town was going through the playoffs as an alum.
Oh, it was so freaking awesome. As soon as we lost out, we really felt that if we got by Boston, we were going to the final, and once that didn't happen, obviously you can change your allegiance, even though it was another team. But I know there was a lot of people in our organization, Rod, that there are St. Louis Blue alumni, Yarmo, Basil, myself. Of course, we wanted to see those guys do well, and they're good people, and to have them see that success, or have that success. It was really exciting for even our family here at home to get caught up in it. Awesome for the city, awesome for the people, the fans, the whole community. Well earned, and just so cool to see it happen. And you get so many phone calls, you reconnect with so many people while this is going on, and just have your old neighbors call and friends, and it's just cool to see, and great for everybody.
Darren, you jump in at any time, but just we're 10 days into free agency, Rich. Artemi Panarin was the number one guy, and he's off the board. Your take on what's happened so far in NHL free agency here 10 days in?
Well, there's no surprises, to be honest with you, especially when you have that what we call the period that I don't think everybody agrees with, and honestly, in our situation with our players, Rod. I think it was more or less foregone conclusions where one was going. Disappointed from Artemi's standpoint, personally, in the sense that here's a guy that he left $8.5 million on the table in Columbus, and not only did he leave $8.5 million on the table, he left a lot of other things on the table that had everything to do with your day-to-day life in Columbus, cost of living. He was set there for life in terms of what he could have had. He would never had to pay for anything the rest of his life there, basically. But we're in a different game now. We're just not dealing with players anymore. We're dealing with players' girlfriends, wives, players' girlfriends, mummies who want to be involved and can control situations. In our situation here, that we weren't big enough for Artemi Panarin. Our city wasn't. I think not so much him, but the people who he's surrounded by. There's not to take nothing away from this kid. He's a great player. He's a great kid. He's just letting someone else control a lot of his life and situation right now. Good or bad, that's his choice. But we will move on. We like our group. The biggest thing, we made the deals at the deadline. Everyone thought we were crazy, but a lot of people thought good for us to step out in the plank and do some things. And we kept our best prospects. We kept the kids who we know are going to play for us, and we've got some great kids coming. How soon can they be difference makers remains to be seen. We know and believe that they will make our team coming out of camp. If their summers are going along the route that they're on right now. We don't believe we're done in free agency yet. We've got lots of cap space. I don't see us sitting still right now. just because Yarmo's not sitting in the office, or Bill is not sitting in the office, or Basil's not sitting in the office necessarily today doesn't mean that we haven't got things that we're trying to work on. So I love our group. We're going to be younger again, which is a scary thought when we're already the third youngest team in the league last year. It's hard to make the playoffs. It doesn't matter who you are. And the bottom line is now we have to figure this out. And I think there's no reason as a group, Rod, you look at the mindset and the importance of getting to some of our core group, our captains group here in the next month is very important in terms of setting the table from a mental standpoint. Look what the New York Islanders did. They lost an integral part of their team, and they took a real step forward. And I think it allows our group to get some motivation, get some birds in their saddles, and come together as a group and hopefully can pick up some pieces and get going.
Darren, what do you got
Yeah,
for Richie?
we saw our first offer sheet with Sebastian Aho, and obviously the Carolina Hurricanes matched it. Do you anticipate any others? I know it's a hot button issue, and Mitch Marner's the big name, but Braden Point's a name that people around Regina and Moose Jaw obviously are very familiar with, and his success he's had in Tampa Bay. Do you anticipate any other offer sheets, or what's the temperature of the league when it comes to that?
The temperature of the league is yes. And personally, very personally, I hope it does happen. I think there's two legitimate guys out there that there's two teams that they are had played for that are up against the cap. There's no doubt about it. And in order to make this happen, they're going to have to still do some juggling. There's still going to have to be some player transactions. There's going to have to probably a couple more guys that they want to sign that are not the elite restricted guys that they're hoping that will maybe take not quite the amount of money that maybe the player might want. So there is still a lot of internal, let's be honest, I wouldn't call it strife, but internal consternation within a couple of organizations about how are we going to get these guys signed without getting or having to get other guys signed. So the capitulator, these guys, the number guys, have to be very, very wise, maybe a little bit sneaky about how they're going to do some things. But that's where I hope that somebody jumps in and goes, sorry, now you match that. And if that does happen, honestly, what that will create, you guys, is it'll create a couple of these organizations to, now if we're going to keep this guy, we're going to have to do something with a couple of our other guys that maybe we didn't want to have to do. So, and again, that allows some teams with cap space, with plenty of cap space, to come in and say, okay, what do you want to do? We can make a deal. And so right now, I wouldn't say that we're necessarily one of those teams or not, but I will tell you that we're in a good position to make some things happen if we really feel we want to.
Lastly, for Rich Sutter, you're there in that hockey hotbed of Alberta, and the most delicious thing to me is that Mike Smith is the Oilers goalie and Cam Talbot is now the Flames goalie. And your thoughts on how that's worked out and what this winter is going to be like in Alberta following those teams. I can't wait.
Well, it's kind of weird. I mean, I think in the history of the Oilers and the Flames, we've never seen this happen. Mike Smith probably saved and gave himself another year in his career simply by how he played the last probably 20 games of the season, including the playoffs. Bacon. Cam Talbot is nothing but a first-class, competitive, team-first player, great human being. I really hope if there's a guy that has a rebound year and is capable of doing it, it's him. And let's be honest, he's going to play in front of a different type of defense than he played for in Edmonton. And Mike Smith is going to play in quite a bit of a different type of defense than he had in Calgary. So there's two very contrasting situations there about how each of these guys is going to be able to respond. I think it's going to be exciting for Alberta. The Flames are one of those teams, we can go back to the prior question. The Flames are one of those teams that, hey, they're trying to get, I know for a fact they're trying to get a couple of things done from a free agent side, but they aren't able to do it because they, at this point, they are trying very much so to create some cap space by moving some guys out the door to sign some guys. And so they're in a bit of a tough spot. Calgary has got a lot of work to do to get back to anywhere they think they need to be.
Richie, so great to talk hockey with you again. I appreciate the time and enjoy the summer. But I'll call you tonight. We'll get caught up.
Yeah, let's do. And great to see you doing well, and you guys are busy, and seems like you're doing things the right way, and you're having fun with it. I follow it, and geez, I hope I can get in there into the studio sometime and have some fun.
You got an open chair. Thank you, Richie.
Take care.
You're watching Rod Peterson On Demand. For more of The Rod Peterson Show, visit rodpeterson.com or follow Rod Peterson on social media.